Okay, it's kind of weird that I'm always responding to Broken Mech, but that's just the way it goes, apparently. Yeah, I saw this video yesterday evening, and yeah, also saw the video about Gary by Gratex, because I thought that yeah, I should go and subscribe to some of these anti-natalists or pro-choicers or whatever, or pro-natalists, whatever the terminology is, still a bit, whatever. Yeah, because I, wanted to hear the other side of the argument. But yeah, nothing's really changed. I still think that yeah, it's better to be on the safe side. It's exactly the same thing as eating meat. Meat eaters. I think the best argument that they can come up with is either might makes right, or to say that animals are so stupid. I mean, and even though it is true that they are stupid, I mean, and they don't have, at least some of them don't, at least most of them probably won't, or don't have the same kind of emotional, they can't, they don't attach the same things to pain as we do, and they don't feel the same kind of emotional stress or anguish that we might. But yeah, it's still pretty, like, I don't find that convincing enough to say that, so yeah, it's okay to just chop them up and eat them. Doesn't matter if they scream because they're stupid. So it's a bit similar situation here, because these people are saying that basically because the future generation doesn't exist yet, we might just as well fuck them. And even it is kind of true that they don't exist yet, and that the person doesn't exist. Actually, let's just hear the argument.
Yeah.
Well, he explains that the anti-natalist, how the.
So I just want to point out what I think is a fundamentally
it's a fundamentally self-contradiction, blah blah blah, circular logic, and yeah, it destroys anti-natalism completely. And then he goes to explain the premises that people are born, there's no need for them to be born, and there's really not much to gain, but there's a hell of a lot to lose, and that it's an inherently risky situation, and yeah, they will at least, they are bound to suffer and die. And then he explains how he refutes this entire thing.
Natalists argue have an inherently risky.
So basically it's just a semantics game. He's gonna try to make this seem illogical.
A crime being committed by the procreators, and the victim is the new person. And I guess
like it's somehow ambiguous that when you are breeding an animal into a slaughterhouse or like into a factory farm, would you say that fuck the animal doesn't exist yet, we might just well breed it into existence? And basically he's saying that the person, in order for a person to have the right to be, or right not to be, in order for a person to have the right to not be, he would already have to be. So that's his amazing argument. And even though it is it sounds kind of smart, kind of clever, it doesn't really work like that. I mean, in order for a person not to be murdered, he doesn't have to be murdered. Like, that's even the only thing he has is there's the word not to be, or the he's basically just using this existence thing as an excuse, because you wouldn't say that of any other crime. Like, yeah, you haven't been raped yet, so you don't have a right not to be raped. I mean,
to me, this is a problem because right off the bat, you're locked in a logical circular chain of reasoning.
Whatever, I'm not even gonna go into the video because it's just the same. I've just explained what he said. You can go watch the video, I'll link it. And Gratex told pretty much the same thing in comments to me when I told him to, yeah, I agree that Gary is kind of overly harsh on people, and he should be more constructive in his methods, and that his language is very insulting to some people. Doesn't insult me that much, but I mean, to me, when I was a mediator and I saw some of Gary's videos, I was really shocked. But I was shocked because I realized that what he said was true. I wasn't, I know he was basically just bashing me because I was a mediator at that time. But yeah, I didn't really take issue with the language. I took issue with the substance. That, yeah, holy shit, I'm wrong. But yeah, I agree that he should work on the language a bit and be more polite. But I don't blame him. I mean, he's been doing this for years, and it's his personality. So basically, I said that yeah, I agree mostly, but yeah, you should just focus on the argument. Just focus on the argument. And he responds by saying, "I've done the argument to death with caps." And I asked, could he link me to the video or just explain short explanation how he has refuted the entire argument. And yeah, he basically says that yes, you can't deprivate a non-existent being of pleasure, but you also can't save them from suffering since they don't exist to be saved from suffering. And that's exactly like saying, you can't save a person from a nuclear blast if they're already in a nuclear bunker. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can't save a person who's already safe. Well, duh. We're not saying that you should save him. We're saying that you shouldn't you shouldn't drag him out of the bunker. That's what we're saying. Because you're basically just saying that we have to drag him out of the bunker and push him back in. I mean, we have to drag him out to be able to put him back in. That's basically the argument. Or we have to, so you can't save a person from a dangerous disease when he is already, healthy. So you're basically saying that we should inject him with the disease and then try to cure him. And I'm saying no, just don't inject him with anything. And I've drawn a flashy picture for you, so maybe you can get it. Here's non-existence. What the hell is that? Well, yeah, it's non-existence. And here is existence. And here we have A and B. They are mother and father. And, here's the boundary of existence. And here is a person called X. Might be Y, might be Z, whatever. Might be anything. Might be Z, might be C, might be A, or A2, or whatever. Might be Jason. Who cares? We don't really know who it's gonna be. But anyway. So you're saying that now that he doesn't exist yet, fuck him. But now that he does exist, I mean, there's like when these two were fucking, and she got pregnant, and there was little X forming inside of her. You're saying that we're pretty damn sure that she's gonna give a birth to a baby, and you're saying that, but I mean, even though we are fucking sure that that's gonna happen, fuck him. He doesn't exist yet. He has no rights. Let's just fuck him. And we're gonna, when he does exist, then we're gonna tell him that, yeah, well, okay, we fucked with your rights, but at that time you didn't have the rights yet. I mean, can't you see how ridiculous that is? It's like, even though we don't know it's gonna be X, it might be who the fuck ever. There's a potential, there's a likelihood of of people coming into the existence. People are born every day. So yeah, these potential people are a likelihood. They're a potential. But I mean, how can you just ignore that by saying that, you know, they are not here yet, so fuck them. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around that. I mean, you're presenting it as logical contradiction, but um, say that by saying that clever phrase that um, for a person to have the right to not be, he already has to be. But I mean, why do you even say that? I mean, I don't see how my right not to be imposed on starts after the first imposition. Why? Why has it? Why can't I just? I mean, why do you have to fuck with me? I mean, why do I need to have a body? Why do I need to have a personality? And why do I need to be conscious before I can say don't fuck with me? I mean, well, I mean, do you think that Frankenstein was like when he had the corpse stitched together on the table and he was just gonna um, connect the electrodes to his neck and bring him to life? You're like, I mean, even though we know that this creature is gonna have a horrible, horrible life, fuck him, because he is not alive yet. He'll be alive in 10 seconds, but fuck him. Uh, I mean, we're always talking about this pollution and stuff. Like, we need to have a clean environment for the future generation, and the future deserves to have enough resources and blah blah blah. And you're saying like the future doesn't exist, and I mean, you probably agree that future should have enough resources and clean environment, and we know we shouldn't just fuck with the future. But in this particular instance, you're just using that weird semantics drivel as an excuse to fuck with the future. I mean, you're just trying to make it seem complicated in some way. You know, not in existence. He's not even an X yet. Okay, fine. He's just some mush. Now they're gonna like, oh, let's have a baby, and X comes out. Like, we never saw that coming. Like, yeah, who knows? I mean, there's some other alternatives, like what? I mean, we know that people will come into existence by that kind of action. I mean, yeah, I'm rambling, but yeah, this is just mind-boggling. Yeah, it's sort of a clever, sort of almost not really contradiction. I mean, yeah, a person has to be in order to have the right not to be. No, it's like a person has to be raped in order to have the right not to be raped. I mean, why? A person has to be injected with cancer in order to have the right to, be cured from cancer. Don't inject him with cancer in the first place. It's that simple. This is just mind-boggling how they. I mean, this is exactly the reason I don't eat meat is because, there's this argument like animals are so stupid, they don't have this same kind of emotional blah blah blah, and they don't feel the same kind of emotional torture that people do. So yeah, we might just as well chop them up and eat them. And I just no. I mean, even though we're not totally fucking sure how much they suffer, I mean, I mean, they're screaming and all. I wouldn't take that kind of chance. Same thing here. I mean, yeah, those people, they don't exist yet, but that argument isn't strong enough to justify such an experiment. I mean, I mean, it's pretty arrogant to come up with argument that weak and then say that yeah, and that justifies everything. I mean, it's better to be on the safe side and be kind of skeptical of your. I mean, that's just some shit thrown together that barely even works at all, and then you're like, yeah, it justifies everything. No, it barely makes any sense, and you're saying that yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit incoherent and rambling, but yeah.